Hello all 10 Renegade players. In this video I'm gonna discuss about new Renegade rotation and small things that people don't pay attention to. Before we start, I'd like to elaborate on the topic of 7-shot mechanic. I decided to include this clip to show you that every targeted projectile based skill, just like 7-shot and Tides of Time, will have the same behavior as long as you have instant cast turned on. Unfortunately, this doesn't work when you have instant cast with indicator turned on, because you're not skipping the targeting part, which is essentially the reason why this thing happens. As far as the actual rotation goes, I decided to split it up in two parts. The first part consists of opening color rotation and Citadel Bombardment Melics. And the second one, obviously, of second color rotation, because I couldn't come up with a better name, and Unyielding Anguish Melics rotation. There are a couple of things you should be careful about on all 4 legend swaps, and I'll go over those things in a bit. Just like on any other class, opening is extremely important, but realistically you'll have more energy at the start and you should spam Unyielding Anguish until you have nearly 30 energy left, at which point you should use Embrace the Darkness, Spirit Crush 7-shot and swap into Kala. You can also replace last 3 skills with another Unyielding Anguish in case your wounds are ramping up. The reason this opening here is so important is because you can already mess it up without realizing that you did. Unyielding Anguish goes off at the end of the animation, Legend Swap procs Geosigil, which goes off after Unyielding Anguish procs. Unyielding Anguish goes off at the end of the animation, Legend Swap procs Geomancy Sigil, which goes off after Unyielding Anguish procs. And if you weapon swap too early, you're gonna interrupt both Unyielding Anguish and Geomancy proc if you have Geomancy Sigil on shortbow. In case your Geomancy Sigil is a mace, you can still interrupt Unyielding Anguish, so make sure that the skill goes off first. This is probably the easiest part of the rotation, but make sure that auto attacks go off because you can easily interrupt the last one in the chain and still have a proper rotation because Mace Axe has some downtime, but you're gonna end up losing DPS simply because you weren't careful. Make sure that your chaining skills up at the end of color rotations and that you instantly swap after Searing Fissure goes off. Another extremely important mention is that you should legend swap before weapon swap. You get second Geomancy proc if you have it on Mace Axe, but you have to be quick with the weapon swap as well because you don't want to start another auto attack chain because you were too slow with swapping legends. On the first Melics rotation, you should definitely count auto attacks. After the opening, wait until you finish 4 auto attacks, use Bloodbane Path, Citadel Bombardment, do another 4 autos and wrap this demon boy up with Bloodbane Path, another auto, and then repeat the opening but with Embrace the Darkness up. Another thing you should pay attention to is the fact that I'm legend swapping before I get Bloodbane Path off. What I'm doing there is just leeching off of Kala energy because you will always have more than you need, and I'm replacing 2 auto attacks on Mace with Bloodbane Path, which is why I'm doing 4 auto attacks after second Searing Fissure on the next Kala rotation. Again, same thing, make sure to legend swap before weapon swap in case you have Geomancy Sigil and Mace Axe, and if you don't, you can sync up both swaps. There's nothing special happening here. This is where the loop happens and where you reset the entire rotation, and everything I've said up until now basically repeats itself. But they're a bit less important during this rotation because your whole legend swap / weapon swap depends on how fast can you get Bloodbane Path off. But nonetheless, you can still squeeze in those 4 auto attacks at the start and 5 auto attacks after Bloodbane Path. And everything you're watching right now has been already explained in previous rotations. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on Discord or poke any single member on SC Public Discord and I'm sure they will help you.